Live. It's all the way live.
Mhm.
It's live.
Hello, everybody. Remedy, do you want to take us away with an intro?
Hold on. I'm still waiting for the thing to say that it's all the way live.
Okay.
Live, live, live. Right. Let's just make sure. Oh, I hate that one. Okay. Oh, wait. Having trouble connecting? Please check your internet connection. Bullshit.
What?
Okay, there we go. We're live. We're live. We're all the
Perfect.
way live. Hello, hello, everyone. If you're joining us, we are glad. And if you're not, push that button play and, review it later. Popcorn. It's great. It's going to be great popcorn content. If you're interested in us, that is. So, for those of you that don't know, my name is Remedy. I am a professional dominatrix out of Los Angeles, where I work at a place called Sanctuary. I want to give a shout out to Sanctuary LAX because they are letting me use the studio to do this podcast. So, Mr. Cyan, Sanctuary family, thank you so much. And, anyways, I'm here to discuss our book club. Yay! This week's regularly scheduled chapter will not be happening. Instead, we have a surprise. Karla, my lovely comrade, and I decided to do a discussion on the political education that we've been receiving lately, um, or as of late, should I say. It's been amazing. It's been very transforming, and it's been very insightful. There's nothing like the truth, right? You get to learn. That's the only way to learn is with truth,
Right.
and of course experience. And Lord knows there's lots of experiences that have gone on that have been shrouded in lies and deception, and portrayed to the masses, self included, as in the form of like standardized education and history, and things like that. And well, hate to bust your bubble, but it would appear that the history books have lied.
Believe it
Imperialism,
or not.
right? Imperialism has pretty much painted a large American dream of bullshit. And because I don't believe the hype, the American dream has never been this woman's a dream. I'm not down with the system. And so that's why we're here today doing this podcast this way. So let me introduce, without further delay, my lovely co-host Karla.
Hello, everybody. I'm tuning in from Chicago, Illinois, at my house, which is actually called Gay House. So, Remedy, I'm like in all the pride flags in the background, other pride included. And yeah, I'm here because there needs to be a serious change in how we are being educated and the content and media that we are consuming. Um, it's I'm tired of people not questioning these systems and the information that we're being taught and like this perpetuation of patriarchy and the systems that we have in place. And so we're doing this to, question some things, stir up some conversation, and read a wonderful book and continuing to read wonderful books, but right now focusing on From the Implacable by Russell Murren Schultz. And so, as Remedy said, we're not reading the chapter this week, but next week we will be reviewing The Real Resistance to Slavery in North America. Um, it's a wonderful chapter that will talk about three different formations and their tactics to fight white supremacy, and that's the stories that often are not highlighted or taught in school. So if you'll join us next week, we will be here discussing. But right now, we're going to discuss something different. So, Remedy.
Thank you. And, just to touch a note on the chapter, we're going to be discussing the real resistance to slavery. If you all think that you are free and that you're not slaves, honestly answer the question: are you free? And if you are, kudos to you. Drop a comment, and let us know what your secret is, because the real remedy is all in political education, right? Well, it's not just political education. It's also in it's deeper than that. It's in let's see. Well, there's three A's. There's articulation, awareness and activism or action, correct?
Yep.
Right. And then there's a few other very important alphabets.
All of our principles. So we have our tenets, which are revolutionary matriarchy, which we like to center in this formation in the West Book Club. Mother Earth centeredness. Politics is equivalent to art, or art is equivalent to politics. Maroon leadership and education. And remedy, is there one more that I'm missing?
Indigeneity, did you say that?
And indigeneity. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. So
The
it's yeah.
roots, honey, your roots, right? Which we were stripped from our roots. Really,
Right.
the moment this land, I'm talking about America, was colonized, all roots were systematically stripped, and we were raped of our land, our people, and our culture. As a Native American or First Nations people, I I feel very, very robbed of the slaughter that is currently still my people still are struggling in. Very much so, just like the people of color and black, African Americans, Tijanos, like the same ways. The U.S. territory and that border um, it keeps encroaching more and more and more on Mexican lands, Mexican territories, and like it's no wonder why they're trying to cross the border. They're just trying to get home.
Right.
So
And
we also have. Oh, sorry. We also
oh,
have
I'm gonna keep going off, so I'm gonna restrain myself from continuing on. You go.
we have five P's, another important alphabet, which is okay. Oh wait, is it five or three? I should grab my notebook.
C's or P's?
Oh yeah, we have three P's, huh?
There are
Let's see.
three P's. There's a lot of alphabets in this political education that we're doing.
It's like in preschool, ABCs and one, two, threes, right?
Right.
Only we do them like repeatedly, because
Yeah.
sometimes you have to drill it into the head,
Yeah.
especially if you're hard-headed like myself.
Not hard-headed, but it is helpful to have tenets that you can hold yourself to. One thing that we maybe can, learn from educational systems that have existed here is there are ways that you can retain information and like open up your mind a little more. And so we like to use these just as principles to follow because, it's you need you it's one thing to be like anti-systems, anti America, but it's another thing to actually like have that focused in a way that you can communicate with other people and actually work towards something to like make change. And so that's
You know what I'm really anti?
that's what we're following.
I think I'm more anti federal or anti-government, anti-system, like state, because I really am not pleased nor satisfied at all, nor or benefit. Do I benefit in any way from anything federal with the name federal attached to it?
Yeah.
Anything that the government tries to provide is really wait for it. It's really just meant to fuck us in the end. I've noticed somebody's getting screwed in the
And no
a
one's enjoying it.
right. Exactly. They give you just enough to fucking make you struggle
Right.
and to keep you trapped in a cycle of working most of your life instead of enjoying your life mostly. Which I think that's. I mean, if we're going to struggle in life, it should be because we're working hard, not because we're just constantly struggling.
Right.
And people are constantly struggling, and rarely do people like stop to smell the roses and truly appreciate the essence of its scent and its beauty. I'm a fucking hopeless romantic, so maybe that's why I love doing that. But I
The
also,
Aquarius queen.
but the struggle is real. I mean, the struggle is real, and it's still very, very dangerous in the world, in society. And I don't understand with today's technologies, with today's forward thinking people, and this whole like the youth. Like, it's not like you guys don't have the heart or mind to really, want to be better people, a better society, a better cultured, uh, population. It's just that we are trapped in this vicious world,
Right.
in this
Right.
vicious world. So
Yeah.
as a responsible individual, that maroon leadership or wild spirit, whatever, I just refuse to be put into like some class or some, fuck all that. Fuck your statistics and your census and all that other thing.
Yeah. Because I mean, if every other fucking system is messed up, why don't they think, why would any of that be right? Like people have this inherent, like, oh, well, the government is giving us $1,400, so they're doing something to, but you don't know what is behind that strategically or any thought that's going into that. It's like nothing that can be taken from them is ever going, like, we can never accept it as a good thing.
And what good is $1,400 when you think about the thousands we've lost over the last year and
Literally.
over a year? We've been way more than 1,000. So shove it up their ass. Like,
Yeah,
add
my minimum wage, I can probably make $1,000 or $1,400 in after taxes, like a month and a half, 2 months on minimum wage, just like because I'm still not getting fully employed for the entire week. Like I still can't work full time because of COVID restrictions.
where's the rest? $1,400. Where is the rest? Is what I'm asking.
Right.
And,
Literally, it's been a whole goddamn year and they're giving us $1,400. And now
and
people are getting screwed over too. The government is asking them for their money back. Would you believe it? My friend,
exactly. Of
she
course,
is
I believe
getting a letter from the government asking for $10,000
they could
back.
suck a dick. Biden.
Literally.
Republicans,
But
Democrats. I don't know. I don't have faith in you guys. You guys suck.
yeah,
So
and well, this is why we need people who think like us and are mad like us to get with us so that we can talk and actually get some articulation, awareness, action going on.
So, and that's being very responsible for your person, As far as action goes, well, this is our way of activism, of action, and our way of giving back. It's by suiting up and booting up and doing it. And what action is that? Well, the political education is major,
Right.
major.
You definitely need the political education and the understanding of what you're fighting for before you go out and fight for the struggle.
It
We've learned we need to be prepared.
foundation of our existence, the very foundation is political education, right? It gives you what, it gets you one step closer back to your roots or to the indigeneity, to the freedom
Right.
of, of revolutionary matriarchy and maroon leadership. But you got to have a solid foundation in political education, and the only way we're going to do that is not in history school, not in history class,
Or at least
but
in history class at public schools in the United States.
which is why it's important to read books like Maroon the Implacable,
Right.
um, and and Malcolm X's autobiography, and the true history books.
Right.
And yeah,
I'll give them next week. So the book where the chapter I said, Real Resistance to Slavery in North America, it talks about three different organizations, one, or not organizations, but formations. The Underground Railroad, which, is commonly taught. But what we are not learning is about, you know,
the
all of the work
Maroons.
goes right. We're not learning about Maroons, but, there's depth and there's so much that happens and has happened. And we're just getting the bare top, the skim, the milk like film on the top of the whole glass. And so that's Underground Railroad, which is more commonly taught. Then there are the Maroons, which is what our formation has come from. And so those are people that were escaped slaves, people that did not accept their being put in chains. And so they liberated themselves and they ran to the freaking swamps, had more intelligent tactics than anyone else.
Right. They went to the toughest of lands to escape the slave masters and
Right.
to create communities of liberated slaves. Of liberated. There was maroon villages and maroonity.
And
I
I'll have to double check this, but in the chapter, I believe the timeline that they were actually like completely liberated was from the end of the Revolutionary War to the beginning of the Civil War. It was a long time where people were too afraid to even go into the swamps and try to capture them. And
yeah.
so, why aren't we learning about this? Why aren't we learning about their tactics to fight?
there were children that grew up in these communities of liberated slaves or free,
Free people.
people that refused to be captured. They
Right.
had this fighting spirit and determination to create their own little community, well, growing communities of and populace of there were children there that like had never seen a white person.
Right.
So that shows you the success of their determination and their that heart of freedom and true freedom, that spirit, you know. Um,
And
so
this
like
is not to say that anybody that didn't, become liberated is weaker or less strong than the Maroons, because there's a system of imperialism and racism always weighing down. And so this is just an example of how some people could liberate themselves and bring those people that are still stuck with them. And so we are the fighting spirit people that are trying to bring everybody together.
yeah, exactly. This is just residue of the of our ancestors, people. So let's just make this point very clear. Slavery was fucking wrong.
And it
It
still is today.
is,
It
unless
exists.
it's consensual in a BDSM sort of safe, sane, and consensual format.
Right.
I don't even really feel comfortable saying that I have slaves. I like to call them my pets or my property, but it's just as bad. However, we're two grown consenting adults, and my pet happens to be a white girl.
Right.
So, but,
And what isn't okay, though, is incarceration and the systems of slavery that exist today still, and the ignorance around that. And
right, the bondage that is forced into our lives, and the being captured and held
right.
captive in a cement block. When you die and you get put in a casket and in the ground they put you in a cement block. So it just seems like it's wrong all like
And we're
well,
here today too to talk about Russell Marin Schultz, and that he's still in a cement block, and he's been there for 48, 49 years,
40,
22 of them in
23.
solitary confinement. 20, yeah,
Which, by the way, there is a chapter toward the end of the book that we're going to get into, and it's on his case, and this book, Maroon the Implacable, is amazing. I think the further, uh, the deeper our understanding of and awareness with political education, the deeper we get into it, the more meaningful this book becomes. Like these chapters have like changed from just words on a page that to all of a sudden like whoa, on a level that is very whoa. So if you're just gonna read the book along with us because you think we're cute or something
yeah.
like that,
And
well,
we're not scholars, we are not academics. We are just two people that know that we live in a fucked up world, and we're trying to educate ourselves about the people that are trying not to make it fucked up and follow in their footsteps.
yeah, actually, we're quite a bit more than just two people. We are
Oh,
two
yeah,
very, very, very strong individuals.
that is
You
true.
know,
That is
and
true.
and there are so many that level of strength comes from within, and it's in everyone as
Yeah.
long as you know that it's there. But if you're constantly being pressed down by all these different forms of oppression and the systemic racism and classism and all these other like pit boxes that they're trying to put you in, decide on if you're this party or that party, decide if you eat meat or not, decide if like what are you, all these different things to just break you down as a whole person, um, are only going to continue to do that until you start to liberate yourself.
Yeah.
And
I'm letting the people know that we are not going to be like, because academia is another oppressive system, and you see who are the people that are allowed to be academics, who is invited or who is accepted into colleges that have that carve that path to academia, and this like
financial
hot.
bondage. It also is a
Right.
form of financial bondage, debt.
Right, exactly. And we are two very strong people. That is clear. But we're not associated at all with those academics that are trying to shove information down your throat that
We're
this
not
is beneficial and information to everyone.
margins. We're not affiliated with any like. Well, I'm not. I was a registered libertarian for a few terms, and that just didn't work out well either. So forget those ballot forms for now. We're going to just burn them.
Right.
Yeah, there's no
We're
hope in.
trying to create something new, and yeah, we're here for liberation.
Yeah, and we're not alone. We're not alone.
Mm,
There were formations in the past that were taken down systemically through means of like COINTELPRO. I'm talking about our true freedom fighters back in the day, our,
right,
our revolutionary Black Panthers, and what the Young Lords, the Rainbow Coalition. They were doing a lot of amazing things in the communities in which they resided in, and for even communities outside those that were impoverished and just the slums. They were basically building up their communities, which is great and they weren't doing it because they were Black. They were doing it because they were people. And the way that the government just executed and annihilated these those formations is, I mean, to me, like it rips at my gut. I don't understand. Just like slavery, like so wrong to the core of my existence. It's so wrong and still wrong. There's never been no public apologies. Okay, yeah, maybe a couple of court cases were won, and there were a couple of people that may have, won a little bit of money, but that does not balance out the act of unequal justice, or there's no balance there, and there needs to be balance. There's not even balance with the controllers and the people. Like it's way off balance. Somehow there's less of them, more of us.
right.
But even
It's the idea,
even here among there's no balance.
right,
Everybody's like struggling too much for there to be any harmony. And without harmony, there's no peace. And without peace, there's nothing else. There's no justice. There's nothing. Like, I mean, we can't continue to live in a world like this.
right.
I'm a grandmother. I can't, my grandbabies, like, they're, if things have only gotten worse since I've been alive, which I truly think they have, they're only going to continue to spiral downward for the youth of tomorrow. And you guys are supposed to be our hope, if they're our youth. And if you're not the youth, and if you're a midland like myself or an elder, I commend you for being here and tolerating um, my little schlill here. But trust me, it'll be enlightened. You will get some insight, and it will be beneficial if you continue to stick it out and liberate yourselves. So let's see, what else do we have, Karla?
Well, I was gonna let everyone know that if you are interested in some of the things that we're just beginning to talk about now, we're on YouTube. um, well, we are doing some meetings starting on April 12th, and if you're interested, please email us. Um, and we would love to hear if you're interested, and if we think that you will be good fit with our formation and the Maroon Party for Liberation, we can send you a Google form and you can fill it out and we'll get to learn a little bit about you. And so definitely contact us if you're interested. The Gmail link is in the description on our YouTube page.
Yeah, so reach out to us if you are interested in getting your political education on and
Right,
learning some truths about what the hell has happened and what is
right.
really going on, because we're being told we're caught up in a lot of lies and deception, and I think people are starting to sense it and become aware, but they're kind of lost and don't know what to do about it. And the only thing you can do is educate yourselves, people.
Yeah, and also we need more people on hands to free all political prisoners in 2021 because we're not just a formation that's just talking. We are actually doing action and work every day to help free political prisoners, like Russell Maroon Shoatz
And Mumia and Leonard Peltier, and they're, trust
and
you me,
Sundiata.
and we're showing up at their houses and we're calling the prisons, and because
Right,
they were incarcerated under like really really messed up terms, and these elders, they're in their 80s now. They're political prisoners. They're in their 80s and they've served their time, and the only reason why they're incarcerated in the first place was based on purely on racism.
right.
So, like, I don't know. I don't think we're radical, and I don't think that, like, I hope to God that our actions, our point of views don't and make it so that we end up in the slammer for thinking the way we do, but we think a lot like they did.
Yeah.
Social justice is important. Healthy food, medical, hospitals and stuff. What else? Social justice, like
Yeah.
equality, all
You
these
would
things.
think ideas that are common to a humanitarian, somebody that wants to see betterment for all people.
The world was better before it got colonized. That's for sure.
That's just fact. Yeah. It's and yeah. So we are both very passionate about this, as you might be able to tell, and we would love if you would join us for this because we need all hands on deck,
It is
seriously.
going to be revolutionary. I'm not saying that. Yeah, and the transformation, like the ontological transformation that is occurring within us just through this awareness and by educating us, reading some
Yeah.
books. They're not
Right.
banned literature in America or anything. They're just
And
some books.
we can provide with, lists of reading because it's hard to even know where to start. So that's another thing that this formation is definitely beneficial for guidance.
We do have community-led events that is always a great starting place. So we will be mentioning some upcoming events. In the meantime, you can tune back in next week to dive into the book Maroon the Implacable with us. Again, next week's chapter is
The real resistance to slavery in North America.
yes, madam, it sure is. The real resistance to slavery in North America. Like I said, if you think you're free, you need to read this book and get your political education on. If you want true liberation and freedom. But it's got to start with us because they're not going to give us this. Nobody's giving us this. We got to work for it. We got to fight for it. The struggle is real. The knowledge is there. You just got to know where to go.
Right. We got a place for you to go.
Go to hell. No, I'm just kidding.
You got to
not
bring
y'all, not y'all, but the system.
not you all, but
Not you all, but the controllers, the surrogate state.
right. Well, I think that's all for this week, people, and we hope that we see you next week. Yeah, Sunday, same time, same place. We'll be here.
Well, my dear comrade, thank you again for joining us. We'd like to give one last shout out to the North, West, South, and East spheres,
Yes.
the Maroon Party, and to our lovely, 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 lovely leaders that have been there. You know who you are. Thank you so much for being shepherds in this world. You really, really have helped to transform at least two of us.
Yeah, at least two, and everybody before them that was helping them on that same path. So
Yes,
shout out all the ancestors and all the people that came before us too.
Yeah, let's put names right. Exactly. And yeah, just don't lose sight of who you are. And the struggle is real, so
yeah, free your
don't
mind,
worry.
free your people, and we'll be here trying to do
Yeah.
that.
We ain't going nowhere. We're maroon, y'all.
Shout out Spirit Child.
Yes. So, my dear comrade, I will see you same time, same crazy bat channel.
I will see them.
Not sooner.
Mwah.
Mwah. And we're going to end broadcast. Bye, YouTube.